Welcome to the video review of Rocklords Boulder. This is the leader of the good Rocklords, and he is supposed to be a giant boulder of tungsten, which I wasn't aware that came in giant boulders like this. As you can see, he's a nice kind of greenish and white rock. Okay, so let's go ahead and get him converted or transformed. As you can see, it's kind of obvious how this is going to work, so we'll just get into it. So we'll just flip out the legs, and fold out the feet, expose the head, and pull out the arms. And I have to admit right away, based on the GoBots versus the Rocklords movie, this is highly accurate for Boulder. A very, very nice robot mode. Or Boulder person mode thing. Anyway, so actually for these guys, considering that they came out in the 80s, they have some very nice posability. I mean, you really sometimes didn't get this level of posability or detail. I mean, it's a nice, detailed figure. There's very nice texture on this figure. It has an incredible just look to it that, yes, I turn into a rock. I travel around my world by rolling like a rock. But dang nabbit, I look good doing it. Anyway, articulation is his head kind of turns. Arm does 360, though not easily. He's got motion here, motion here. In his legs, he does have some limited motion, not a whole lot. And his feet, because of the transformation, swivel, but that you can get some fairly nice fairly decent poses. I mean, because of the age of this figure, his joints are all really tight, so you could get some decent poses. So, this being the good guy, well, what about some of the others? Ha-ha! Here is the head of the evil Rocklords, Magmar. Magmar is a rock of igneous, or a chunk of igneous rock. So, it's kind of easy to see how he transforms. Fold the legs down. Fold the head up. And rotate the arms out. And there we go. Now, besides the fact that he can touch his toes, as you can see, these are really loose. He's really, really cool looking. The reason I say he's cool looking is because, you know, once you transform him, there's more color. There's whatever these shoulder pads are. His face is green. He's got these green highlights inside his legs, and he's just got so much texture to him, which is really nice. Limited articulation, 360. Head can look down at him inside himself, and there's no articulation in the legs. But, you know, he looks good. And that's something that Rocklords, I think, really excelled at, is they looked cool. Oh, and let's not forget, I have one other with me right now. Unfortunately, I don't have any more that I can find, but Sticks and Stones, this is another bad guy, and he is a combination of magnetite and arachnosite? I can't tell from here. Anyway, his transformation is a little bit different, as opposed to just unfolding like the previous two. He transforms similarly to the way, if you ever had Granite, the Rocklord. There we go. He has two faces. He's the only one in the show to have two faces, kind of like the dude from He-Man, Two-Face. A red face, and a purple face, and matching toenails. Okay then. Articulation is pretty much the same as Magmar. He can at least feed himself. No articulation in the legs, but stays together a little better than Magmar does. So, what is awesome about these things? Why should you consider picking these guys up? Well, you should consider picking them up if you're interested in unique toys that transform. Simply because there aren't that many of them. There are only maybe a handful, maybe 10 total, including the Jewel Lords. But forget the articulation. They have this uniqueness that toys of the 80s, just other toys didn't have. You had the GoBots, you had the Transformers. They were vehicles, they were stuff. These things were inanimate objects. They were freaking rocks. But the toys are neat. The texture and just the overall look of them is interesting. Plus, these guys have held up really well over 20 years. The metal bits are a little bit iffy, but I mean, when your alternate mode and storage mode is effectively a rock, that actually is a benefit for them in the long run. Plus, let's face it, how many desk toys / transforming paperweights are there in this world? Not many. And yeah, I know, I said paperweight, but these things are just neat. I mean, we haven't had anything like these except for maybe the Disney and shoe label, but transforming rocks. Yeah, it's a stupid idea, but it was executed in such a way that really makes me want to get a hold of more of these things.